come in all, watch your step on those cables. This magic isn't very stable. We're gonna go on a trip into the rift.
This week's episode of Juked is brought to you by the Gamers Guild Scotch and All, bringing casual gamers a new view of gaming in a stress-free environment. Scotch and All you need is a D20, good friends, and of course, lots of scotch. Juked Episode 2, archived on November 5th, 2011. Hello everyone and welcome to Juked, a show all League of Legends hosted by some guys who can't last hit worth their lives. I am Stringo, ex-pro Dota player and esports caster in Northwest Washington State. I'm here with Zenel.
Hey everyone.
Our keeper tracker of League of Legends metagame and our AD carry in training, apparently. We got Keen Corpse.
Hey.
Who is picking up jungling as champions who do not belong there. And Domaga.
Sup, peoples?
Who is giving support a try and who is not doing a half-bad job, if I say so myself.
I like it.
Yeah. So we decided for We decided due to time and to help our subscribers out, we are going to do two shows. One being Juked, which will be this show where we talk about the League of Legends metagame and gaming in general. Then a less serious version called Into the Rift, where we'll talk about contests, fan-made stuff, and just talk about stuff. So stay tuned for Into the Rift. I decided, guys, that right now we're inside the Rift. We're sitting on a marble table. We have our champion globes around us. We're wearing our wizard hats, and yes.
Can I be wearing a wizard pompadour?
Actually, I'm wearing my trendy hat and my trendy sword.
Oh, okay. So you have your trendy helmet on, and you have a sword. Are you sitting on your sword? Is it like stabbed into the ground, and you're sitting on like the hilt?
I'm like slowly balancing on one foot, have my other leg up for like balance.
Yes. And I am I don't know. I guess I'm sitting on a throne that Zillion sits on. It's just floating in the air.
What kind of throne?
It's the Chrono Throne.
Okay, well, so one topic that we wanted to talk about before the news was why doesn't Riot have a replay client open for League of Legends quite yet? Personally, I, as an esports caster, I cannot even understand this. Why it's been around for 2 years now and they haven't released this replay client yet, because that's going to get the word out for their game so much faster. StarCraft 2 and Heroes of New Earth became so popular, especially in the endgame scene, because they offer replay clients for people to go cast, for people to look at other people's games. I'm really interested, and I really want to know, why hasn't Riot released this client yet? Do you guys have anything you want to say about this?
Well, I think for competitive tournaments and stuff, they have a replay client. Maybe they haven't released it because it's still kind of buggy. Like, I mean, they're even still working on it, even in the competitive scene. Sometimes you have issues. Like, for a while they had that problem where when they lit up, they used that summoner spell that allows them to see the entire map. It would like light up part of the map for other teams and stuff. It was weird.
Observer mode, I think it was called, or something like that.
Yeah, they're still working on it.
That would be just my number one priority, because that's basically, when it's all said and done, it's almost free advertisement for their game. Because I love to go and watch other people play a StarCraft 2 game, or even people who use LoL replay, just because I'm not actually stressed out playing, but I can still watch and learn it. And it just seems that they're making it much more difficult, and I personally think that should be the top priority right now for them. They have enough champions out, they have a new map out. I want them to start working on this replay client. I know they're working on spectator mode, which is a step up, but I still want to see that replay client after I finish a game, it says, "Do you
Yeah.
want to save this replay?"
I know they've talked about spectator mode being sort of the groundwork for the replay client. My guess why it hasn't come out yet is just because when Riot started out, they were a lot smaller company than something like Blizzard, and they just didn't have the resources back then. And so now that they're actually like they're the last 6 months or so, they've been in a maybe year, they've been in having a lot of massive growth in their company, and so they now can actually allocate resources to it. That'd be kind of my guess on something like that.
I'm surprised they don't
I
hire
would
the
agree with
guys
that.
from League Replays and just bring them in. And
Well, I think the other thing is, I think the other part that's really helping them get out into the community a lot is those competitive teams like Team Solo Mid, who has a website where you can watch replays. They have really cool in-depth information from a competitive standpoint, so people can get the gist of it and then start playing the game. I mean, there's a lot of promotion out there that's not actually them, but is like their competitive scene working really hard too.
there's a YouTube channel called Total Halibut. I'm not sure if you guys have seen him. He's a British gamer, and he used to do WoW Radio, which is World of Warcraft Radio, and he recently quit World of Warcraft when the new expansion came out because he didn't agree with a lot of Blizzard's philosophy. So he went into more gaming, and he is also a esports caster for StarCraft 2, and he goes through and plays League of Legends on a good basis, and he actually records and he will commentate his games. And he has, I think, 500,000 subscribers to YouTube, which is a ton for YouTube standards.
Mm-hmm.
And his most popular videos are League of Legends replays, which is why I started doing them, is because there's just such a hunger for them out there. But it is so difficult to do proper replays. I mean, we look at Kobe Cheese, and he does do actual live commentating, but they have to jump through hoops and have somebody play on the other team to tell them, hey, our Mumu is in that bush and he's about to gank.
Yeah, well, that was just the tournament realms observer mode in the restrictions that had originally. With spectator mode coming out, that's changing, but and then I don't know. It does seem like it's taking a long time, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's taken a long time, and
I would
I think like
enjoy it
Xenos,
very much myself.
I think like Zeno said, they've been expanding a lot. And you can tell from the quality of their champions and everything they've been doing for the community in the last couple months. So I think I know a lot of us really want to see that replay come out, and they did talk about that a couple months ago about how they were going to be patching that in eventually. But we also have to give them some time to expand and kind of grow into this super big entity that they're slowly becoming. So we might have to give them a little more time to adjust.
I would not
On the
even...
positive side of
Okay, no, you go ahead.
oh, really quickly, just on the positive side of things, within the last week, I think they, how they when Dominion right before Dominion came out, they did the open beta like limited times, like for over a week or so. They just sort of like open up Dominion to the player base. They've been doing that just recently with spectator mode as well. To me, that signifies that spectator mode is almost done and ready to be released to the public. If we can take anything from the Dominion limited beta.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that is good. I was trying to actually get the client to work, but it wasn't working out for me.
Oh, I never tried it.
I couldn't get into any custom games. They would just they would put me in as a player, and there wasn't an obvious click here to spectate. So, okay, I would not even be opposed to them having you have to buy the replay client with RP. With RP.
That'd make
What do
me
you guys
sad.
think about that? Would it make you sad?
Yeah.
I think it would make me sad as well.
Because I just want it out, and I would like to support that. But okay, what's your view? Why are you against that?
I'm more if I was to I would be more for donating money to expedite the process if I actually thought my money was going towards making it released sooner. As far as buying it once it comes out, I just don't like that option at all, considering the rest of just how the game works.
Yeah, I'll agree
I
with
think
you
it'd be
on
cool.
that.
Well, I think it would be a really interesting idea to give it not just an RP, but not just riot points, but influence point cost as well, but make it like really high. So for those competitive players that are really high up and don't really have anything to spend their influence points on, it would give them something to do. as well as like, here you've been playing this for so long, so you can get the replay soon. But it also allows people who want it faster to pay RP for it.
Are you talking about buying it once it's released, or getting it quicker?
Once it's released, it will have like an influence point cost and a riot point cost like champions do.
I don't know. See, I don't like that because that would sort of be that would exclude people. You have to pay for the client. I think it should just be part of the game, and it should be available to everyone.
That'd be nice too. I'm just saying, in the event that they make it cost in some way, that would be the optimum way I would go with it.
Yeah.
But ideally, I'd want.
Yeah, I think it should be free, but if it were to come out to where you had to buy it, I think I still would do it, which is the big thing. I don't think that we should have to pay for summoner name changes. I think that is just an easy way to get money because it's an automated system, so that they shouldn't have to charge us for that, especially that amount, or even make it so we could buy it with IP.
Yeah, if you could buy it with IP, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but the RP, real money to change your name, I think is kind of silly.
I think they should give us free wiggle room a little bit for the summoner name chains. Like, what happens if you started the game by yourself, but then you got into a clan, and you just wanted to add like 3 letters to your name?
Yeah, I think that should also be available, but they could do that with IP. Just make, maybe not the 6,300 IP cost. I think that's way too high.
Yeah.
And okay, so we've gone through the replay client. Good, right? Get on it. That's basically what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
But I also want to talk about additional rune pages. Am I the only one under the belief that those should be free?
I agree.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, they should you should be able to swap your rune pages, like actually mess with your rune pages while you're in
that too.
Waiting for the game to start. After you've selected something.
Yeah, it just kind of confuses me of why like they give you 10 free mastery pages but not runes.
Yeah, I know, especially it's like it
just
seems
weird.
It's so like later on it's like, here, have 9 more mastery pages, and you can mess with them all in the middle of the game or middle of it. Yeah.
I always be like, okay, maybe new
that.
players will just become over engrossed by it, so let's do it every 5 levels. Here's another rune page, because I mean I have enough rune pages to where I can get by. I think I have one for every suitable, champion class. But I'd like to have all 7 or 8, however many it is.
10 total, once you get all of them.
I mean, I don't want to spend I don't know how much it is, probably $5 for another rune page. Whatever $5.90.
Yeah, close
RP
to
is.
it.
It's
a little under 5, I think.
For another rune page, that is just plain for convenience. It's not for...
And then the IP cost is like 6,300 itself, I think. It's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. That's a top tier champion. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, a rune page is like $5.90 RP.
Yeah.
Like one rune page. That's only for one, not the bundle.
I mean, how many? I think you get 2 rune pages if you don't buy any, if I recall.
Yeah.
So that's like, okay, you have an AP and an AD change. I mean, I hope you aren't asked to jungle.
Yeah.
Or support or tank.
Yeah, exactly. Or
there's so many champions that require like really specific rune setups too.
Or even going from like a mage with mana to a mage without mana.
Yeah.
It's like,
good
luck.
Oh, I want to play Vlad. We need a. Yeah, exactly.
Now my yellows are going to waste because they're mana regen.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I think that they might be in too deep with it to go back. Because if they were to just say, okay, here, have your 7 rune pages back. I mean, I think I'd get some RP back. Because I think I bought a bundle with it, and it gave me a couple pages.
The rune page bundle I think gives you 7, and I bought that too. Honestly, I would love it just if they refunded all of that, but like, at this point, I agree. I think that's it's too far.
The economy would kind of go nuts if they.
Well, more than anything, I mean, I don't know. At the same time, I could kind of see it because technically, like, if you spent like RP on it, you've already bought the RP, so they wouldn't be losing any money. Well, they kind of would because then you'd be able to sort of reallocate your money to like, champions that you might like, buy RP for later. But I don't know.
Yeah, I bought a bundle, the collector's edition. I think it came with another additional rune page. So, and for people who, and there are a lot of people out there that don't buy RP at all. They just play it as a free-to-play game and they level up their account.
Mm-hmm.
I have a high respect for those people. Holy cow.
Yeah.
6,300 IP, and if you if you're not available to buy a champion on sale, that would just drive me batty. I mean, you have to absolutely know what champion you want to play, and it drives me nuts when people pop into a game and they just say, "I need to go Teemo," and it's like, "Oh, okay." It's like it's
Yeah.
I'll have to work around what you want, but if you only have 2 rune pages, you have to do that.
Yeah, kinda. You have
Okay,
two
guys, more
choices in
importantly,
champions, more or less.
if you don't buy anything with RP, you have to deal with the base Shyvana costume.
Wow.
I'm not sure I could do it. I'm not sure I could do it, man. I'm sorry.
So horrible.
It is really horrible.
And with that, let's go to the news.
Live from Summoner's Rift, this is the news.
Okay, we're gonna go straight to Shyvana then, since she has been brought up. Now, who all has gone her? I know Zenel and I have.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have
Is
other
that it,
two?
I think?
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Nope.
how are you enjoying her, Zenel?
She's a lot of fun. She definitely has some weaknesses. The most obvious being no sustain, no hard CC, or no CC really at all. But I feel that her damage output is really good and she scales really well into the late game. Because of sort of those two weaknesses, her early game is not going to be as great, but once she gets late game, she can do a lot of damage and be really tanky at the same time. And it does a lot for her.
I think she's in a good place right now. The only problem I really have is her W makes her go so fast, and it's on such a short cooldown that she gets pretty bonkers to gank. But I'm torn between they should nerf that or not, because I think that she would be too easy to gank if they were to do anything with that. What do you guys think?
I think it's alright just because the base duration is only 3 seconds with like I think it's a 12-second cooldown, and then the cooldown doesn't go down. It can be extended by quite a bit. I'm still actually not sure if the total duration can be 6 seconds or 9 seconds. I still don't quite understand the wording and haven't tested it myself. So I think she kind of needs it considering she doesn't have like even like a slow or anything else of that matter.
Does the time extension increase the movement speed as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
I think so, because you get pretty speedy near the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So far, what I found is Shyvana, I think she's in a really, really great place right now. I've seen 2 main builds on her, which is going to be flat DPS, so like Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, just more damage build, versus that tankier build. And I think that the tankier build is much better because it gives her better sustain. She can survive longer. I've played a couple games with Zenel where like he builds next to no real damage items, and he tears people apart. And he's so tanky, he's able to jump at the enemy carries.
She does really good with a lot of farm. If she gets farmed up, yeah. I think there was like one game where it was just like Wriggle's Lantern, Wit's End, and then like was it Frozen Mallet, Atma's Impaler, and late game because I was getting so farmed and so fed, I ended up buying a Madred's Blood Razor.
The other cool thing I've seen with Shyvana is at least from experiences with not the DPS Shyvana, but the tanky Shyvana actually is a really good duelist versus those high DPS
Yeah,
champions.
she's pretty
'Cause
good.
She's so tanky, and her speed effects, her ability to stay on top of you, her constant AoE damage, her auto attack speed, everything just is wicked.
Her ultimate is an interesting thing too. I like it a lot actually. Not for initiation, but you run in, you start, doing all your abilities, you start popping your abilities, and then like you can jump over like the enemy team or catch up to somebody or even use it to escape if you have to, using her ultimate because the leap on the ultimate's really long, and then it turns everything, into AoE, and you just start out putting lots of damage.
Yeah, I play her as a damage dealer, and generally when we go into a team fight, I stay in my lovely human form for as long as I can until I start being focused. Then I just turn into dragon form and fly over to their AD carry, and just get in whoever's face that is. That's just what I do personally.
And then he almost dies, except for that Soraka saving it.
From the few experiences that I've had playing against a Shyvana, I kind of found that just having that giant flaming dragon jumping towards you is kind of scary.
Yeah, it's
More than
intimidating.
anything. It just kind of throws you off.
Okay, so that's anything else about Shyvana? Oh, okay, here. How do you jungle her? Let's talk about a bit about her jungle. Usually I grab cloth armor, 5 pots, and I start with her W. Is there an actual way we're supposed to be doing it? I haven't found any guides about it.
Stonewall has a video where he starts with the Vampiric Scepter. I haven't jungled her in a real match yet, just some solo runs, in a custom game, and it works pretty well.
Does he just go wolves, raves, golems, B, give mid blue, red?
I think he takes blue just to the first blue
Cooldown reduction?
The cooldown reduction, and just to make sure he's because he wants to hit 6 as quickly as possible and he needs the full experience. It's pretty much a level 6 rush. Yeah, it goes wolves, raise, double golems, return, blue, wolves, raise, double golems, return, red, wolves, raids, double golem, and then he's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine getting level 6 for her would be kind of vital, considering she doesn't have any hard CC. That ulti will just make initiation for ganking a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you almost need to when you jungle, you almost do need to grab exhaust. Do a bit like how Damaga plays Tryndamere. Sacrifice that flash for the exhaust just because she doesn't have that movement speed reduction. And she can get into a fight really fast when she pops her W and runs in. And then she can pull her dragon to just get that gap closed when they run away.
I feel
like
that Shyvana and Tryndamere have in common, which make them able to sacrifice that flash in order for exhaust. They both have moves that allow them to be removed from combat if need be. So whether that be Shyvana's W with that increased movement speed, whether it's her ultimate, or if it's Tryndamere's spinning slash.
Shyvana's a bit weaker in that respect, I think.
Oh, definitely.
There's actually, I think
walls
there was a
except for
decent
ultimate.
guide published recently that seemed pretty cool on solo mid. I forget what he takes. I'm still not quite decided on summoners for her, especially for the jungle.
Solomid's website kind of crashed a bit, so there's only one guide of her up before the show. I looked.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think that their servers are just being updated. Because I only saw one guide up there, and it was an approved guide, but it was a laning one. It wasn't a jungling one. Because I was trying to find maybe a bit more information. Okay, so we're going to move on to the actual patch notes, and we're going to talk through some of the stuff that we didn't talk about last week. First of all, Amumu's attack range increased from 125 from 100. I don't know what that means. Can somebody explain?
I kind of like that.
It
I
means
think
he's
they're
back to the norm. Pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I think they're doing that with everybody. They're making the minimum, like the lowest your attack range can be for any character is, I think is going to be 125.
Yeah, they recently did that to like Singed
and
I
Nunu.
think one other champion.
Just happened. Singed and Nunu.
Yeah.
And now Amumu. He might be the last one. I'm not sure. I'd have to look through all the champions.
They don't want people in so clustered in a fight, maybe?
I think it was just that extra 25 range, just helps out a little bit. The 100 range is so close to that champion.
Well, especially with Singed, because with the increased melee range, it means his fling has longer range as well.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
with Singe they increased in Nunu's consume at the same time of increasing the melee range. They also increased the range of those two spells, and that for Singe that's actually a pretty decent little buff.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, and then for Caitlyn, her Peacemaker base damage has been reduced and it has a bunch of numbers.
Looks
So
like the
yeah,
top end was
overall,
reduced.
No, actually, everything got reduced except for the first one. Both of them.
Yeah,
are
oh,
20.
that's what I mean by the top end. The bottom end was
Oh,
exactly
okay.
the same.
I'm sorry.
Then
Yeah.
as it goes up, it got yeah.
Yeah, it got progressively.
And
And that's her ultimate, right?
Yeah. Oh no, that's her Q.
Or is that her
Her
Q?
skill
Okay.
shot Q.
So they must
That probably
be wanting
doesn't
to
affect her too
discourage
much.
people. Yeah, they probably want to discourage people from just noobing it up and you shooting Qs.
Yeah,
Well,
that
not
hits
just that,
really
but
hard early game on a squishy, and so in addition to her lane control from her traps that she already has, I mean she has a great early game, and so just reducing some of that burst I think was probably pretty appropriate.
I think it was also reducing the damage so that she wouldn't be able to clear minion waves quite as quickly because she could push. Like, Caitlyn has everything that a carry would want. She has extreme range. She's got that area control, like Zenel said, with her traps. Her Q can be used to harass, but it's also used to clear minions really quick. So, like, put her with a support that can help her push, and you're going to be stuck at your tower all game.
And then she also has an escape through her 90 caliber net, I think it's called, but it doubles as a slow. That's yeah. She has a really strong kit for an 80 carry.
Yeah, the only
So I think
really
they're
weak
they're
part
trying
she
to bring her
has
into
is
line.
her movement speed's pretty slow.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you grab a Phantom Dancer, you're fine.
Yeah.
And her Snap Trap activation radius has been reduced by 15, so not a huge deal there.
Not a huge deal, but it will sort of lessen her lane control slightly. And considering she has a lot of it, it was probably fairly appropriate. I'm not too unhappy with the changes. I'm actually kind of happy because she was definitely a pain to lane against bottom lane.
Mm-hmm. And Riven has gotten some bug fixes, most of them just being just where she stops at minions when she's doing moves. So
Yeah.
nothing
Looks
really
like
big.
usability
It was needed
stuff.
from it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you use your abilities, you tend to like go into a minion and then you bug out for a second. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of her
Right.
recently, so I didn't even really notice that because I started playing her after the patch, so that's fairly good. And Talon, now apparently this is the second patch in a row. I think after reading the forums, of course it is the forums, so it's probably filled with dirty liars. But his rake mana cost has been increased. So, and I don't play Talon, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? I never have problems with Talon personally.
I don't think the mana cost was the biggest issue. I think it was the the increase in the cooldown for his ultimate, which seems kind of like, which
Yeah.
seems really kind of powerful because it got it down to like a 30-second cooldown with cooldown reduction.
The little CC,
But at the same time, it was also a really key component to how he maneuvered and operated. I mean, like, he was, besides a Kali, he was the idealistic idea or the archetype of an assassin character. He would go in, he would hit you hard, he would snap out, and then come back in when he needed to after his cooldowns came back up.
Yeah, I'm personally kind of disappointed that they increased the cooldown on his ultimate.
I kind of feel like they needed to do something, but I'm not really sure what and if that was appropriate. Because I feel like, I mean, he needs to do the burst damage because he's an assassin, and so you
Yeah.
can't tweak his damage a whole lot. And his ultimate, he really relies on it to get out of a team fight, especially in a team fight situation. This really relegates it to like once per team fight. You know, if there's sort of like a small skirmish and then a little bit of a breakup and then a small skirmish again. Before it was low enough that like he could sort of use it in both situations, and now it doesn't look like it as much. And I don't know how that's going to really change his effectiveness, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
How was his top tier tournament playing? Maybe, hopefully that's where the issue was at. It's not for people
I
at
think
our
it
level.
was.
It was up
He
there.
was he's been used quite a well, I don't know if quite a bit's really accurate, but he's definitely being used.
So maybe it's something in a tournament people are like, okay, that can't be happening. Although generally they pick up oracles really fast, so I would think, does it get movement speed increase when he pops it?
Yeah. Pretty
okay,
sure.
Maybe that's why. That's
Yeah.
probably why he can get out easy, even with an oracles.
Well, I don't know about that because Talon is one of those champions that has a really, really rough early game. So in order to be any real effect, you have to do well in the early laning phases, and he can be shut
I'm
down
gonna
fairly
respectfully
easily.
disagree. His early game
Really?
is not that bad. Once he gets just a little bit of AD, he starts doing a lot of damage. Like you get 2 Doran's blades, you know, and maybe like a longsword to build into a brutalizer, and your damage starts to be really good, from my experience.
Obviously, our experiences are different.
I guess so.
Yeah, whenever I'm laning against a Talon, I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm never worried about him. So, well, chances are they suck because I suck. So, okay.
Good positive thinking there, buddy.
It's not positive, it's truth. And we are going to actually take a break because I need to check the recording. So we'll go into break time for a second.
All right.
Break time.
This is an archive of Juked from IGPTV.com. Normally music would be played during the live show at this time. If you want to hear the music, check in at IGPTV website or the YouTube page for dates and times of our live shows. Furthermore, if you have questions for the cast of Juked, email in at Innergeekproductions@hotmail.com with the subject line Juked. If you want free advertisement for your guild or gaming clan, email us in with the subject line guild or clan ad. Now, back for more Juked. We forgot to talk about the new summoner spells.
Oh, right.
Now I'm going to go ahead and open this up because I didn't have it bookmarked. So do you guys want to open it up also?
Alright. Instead of buffing heal, they should have just
Remove
gotten
it.
rid of it.
Yeah,
Same with
If you need the link,
clarity.
it's the in chat now.
thank you. Okay, I got it right here. Okay.
There it goes. It's in chat now.
So basically, let's talk about the changes. So they're buffing heal, which makes me just slam my hand against my face. Like, what are you doing?
Face roll.
No, thank you.
Everything else I'm fine with, but why buff heal? Okay.
Heal, clarity, and all the snowball items should just be gone.
Okay, Zenol, is heal
Yeah,
ever used in high-end play?
I don't think so. I've never seen it.
Okay, so that is I'm at a loss for words why they're doing that. Riot, I need to know. Maybe if it was a regen, if they added a regen effect to it, but not an instant pop.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know if they're tweaking the early game, but what they say is they're making it scale much more strongly into late game.
That's not exactly a good thing.
I don't know if that's a good. I just don't like the
Yeah, I don't
spell
agree
in
with
general. I think heal and clarity both just promote bad play. They're a handicap, and I just don't think that's healthy for the game at any level of play.
They're trying to make bots and co-op AI more OP.
I think
Yes.
it was interesting though that they decided to completely remove fortitude or fortify.
Fortify, yeah.
Yeah. They
I
should
know,
have
it's
buffed
interesting.
Fortify and got rid of heal.
I agree with that
Replacing
statement.
Fortify with promote. I find that actually that they're introducing promote kind of cool, but the fact that it can only be used on the I think it's the siege minions, I find really strange because those only spawn every 3 waves.
And it's only when the inhibitors are down, so like...
No, that you're thinking super minions, siege minions,
sorry.
the cannon minions. And so that's, to me, like, that limits its usage quite a bit.
It limits.
That's just gonna be annoying too.
It limits its usage, and it also makes people want to push the lane, which makes sense, but I don't know.
I think that's the idea, is to have, like, you know, be able to use it in a push comp, and I think that's cool, because, like, that means maybe people will start, like, you know, designing comps around summoner spells a little bit.
Same with Rally, right?
Rally,
We'll
yeah,
get into that in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But just the fact that you can only use it once every 3 waves. I mean, I guess because it's cooldown, you know, it has, you know, summoner spells have long cooldowns. Maybe that's not an issue, but it kind of feels like, all right, I need to push this wave now. I don't have a cannon minion. That totally sort of defeats the purpose of the spell.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and show you the other side of the things. One of the reasons I heard they removed promote in the first place is that people would stack multiple promotions on multiple minions to push that wave super hard. I think what they're trying to do with that, and maybe we'll see if it works really well, is more tactical awareness of the map. So you have to know when and when you can't push. So you have to be more aware of the lanes and just making more map aware at the same time. But I also see promote being used in a defensive way, not always just as aggressively. So like if you have a cannon minion and your opposing lane team has pushed your lane or their lane into your tower, you can promote that siege minion that you have coming up, and it'll help wipe out that wave to help push you forward, to maybe give you some lane dominance.
Maybe it depends on how the attack is the promoted minion. If it really helps push, or if it's more of a damage soak.
It's gonna be different, but is it going to actually be good enough for people to use? That's a question out there. And who would use it?
Do you know what'd be cool though? The minion that you promote, anything that it kills, you should get gold from.
Oh,
that's actually pretty cool. That's a good idea. I'm trying to think of what role you would play. Maybe solo top might do it. I can't see a support running it with clarity.
Not if you get rid of Flash, though.
Well, the Flash changes, though. Maybe this is a good time to talk about Flash. Is with the changes to Flash, maybe, and CV, I wonder. I mean, I kind of can't see CV not being taken by support.
Even if they
do
change
I wonder if, with the changes to Flash, maybe, you know, something like, you know, the new Surge spell or the promote spell or something else will potentially be
I could see a top laner grabbing a Surge spell, the support grabbing the CV, and that way you can just have a nice bit of a comp, because you in top lane you need to be able to have maybe a bit of a boost. It's gonna be really interesting. I'm excited for most of the changes other than the heal change, because I think that promotes bad play and people get better. You don't cater to them. Don't cater to the lower level people, Riot. That's gonna be in big trouble.
So I see that we've mentioned the Surge spell, but we really haven't talked about it. So, Surge is like a revamped version of the Rally spell, which was you placed this Rally object and you'd get increased attack damage and AP on all your teammates that were friendly that were around it. But at the same time, the object could be attacked.
I thought it was only AD.
I thought it was AP.
Let me
and AD.
open it up right now.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Summon a beacon with 200 plus 25 times health for 15 seconds. This will increase allied attack damage by 10 to 35.
Oh, it's not AP? Oh, that's even worse than I thought it was.
Yeah, that's why nobody uses it.
Yeah.
Well, the other problem
they kind of buff the aura as well.
Yeah, Riot mentioned that one of the issues they also had with the rally object is that it can be killed from all the AoE spells that are going out. It's not mobile enough, so you have to stay planted, which is really hard in a game like League of Legends that's slowly moving towards that more like versatile move and flow kind of game. So now they're replacing it with a temporary name called Surge. This isn't a permanent thing, but it's a new summoner spell that works similar to maybe even exactly like Rally, but instead of placing an object, it's buffing yourself or maybe a teammate to
giving
give an
yourself
aura
an aura, I think, yeah.
I love that idea, man. I mean, I could see support taking that, and like, say you play Janna, and you pick up like all of these aura items, maybe even Taric. Taric could be really great
I was thinking Taric, or probably not Alistar, because the Alistar I think uses Flash offensively really well, but Taric, who's naturally tanky. I was thinking somebody naturally tanky who can maybe survive without like a defensive spell.
But gosh, Taric would be really crazy, man. His armor buff, his ultimate's a huge like AP AD buff. Aegis of the Legion would be amazing on him. Like, he would just be like this walking, glowing, effeminate beacon of auras. It'd be pretty fantastic.
It'd also promote 0 CS supports, which I'm always for.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Okay, let's talk a bit about Flash. Okay, they're not taking it out of the game, but they're doing I guess the next best thing, which is reducing the range and increasing the cooldown. I enjoy
the
this
cooldown
change.
on Flash is already pretty hardcore. It's like, they don't have the exact time on them.
Seconds. Well, let me see if it's.
Yeah, it's like It's like 2 or 3 minute long cooldown, which is crazy.
Yeah, but it's such a get out of jail free card, like heal is, but drives me bonkers.
Well, I think especially on those champions like Ezreal. I know we were having trouble with an Ezreal last night that would flash and then use his teleport or blink spell to get out.
Arcane Shift, yeah. I honestly, I don't know if I like the change. Like, I think Flash needed a change, but I was more in favor, I think, of maybe keeping its length, but making it so you can't use it if you've been damaged within like the last 3 seconds. So the escape ability has been reduced, but the offensive ability is just as powerful.
Oh, it's true. A lot of people like Alistar are going to have a hard time initiating fights or ganking. I hadn't even thought about that.
I was thinking that if they wanted to leave it in the game, make it so you can only flash forward. You hit the button and you go whatever direction your champion is facing. That way it at least...
It's like Nidalee's Pounce?
Yeah, it takes skill to use it. You can't just, you know...
That'd be interesting.
It'd be a bit more obvious when they're gonna flash.
No-brainer to use.
I do like the, flash over a wall and you can save yourself. I'm always fine with that because it actually implies you have a bit of skill and it's actually pretty cool. But you just make it a lot of fun for them to have to, obviously make their champion turn that direction and then hit their F or their D. Then they go over. It would just make it a lot harder to use. And as far as it goes, I'm fine with that. I like that idea. But personally, I just want it out of the game. I don't like it. It's
right now. Personally, I think Flash is a really fun spell to use, but I definitely think its defensive, in particular, capabilities are really powerful. Nothing else comes near it.
The biggest reason why League of Legends is so passive at the beginning of the game, because you basically always get out of a first blood. That's all I can really say. That and the towers do a ton of damage. So they're making it so it's a bit more exciting.
Poor Jarvan.
so you can no longer ult on somebody
Jarvan.
and and everybody just flashes
Jarvan
out.
has this fantastic ult, and I can't tell you, viewers, how many times I've played Jarvan. And I've ulted, and then it's like, you flash. I mean, Jarvan already has enough problems as it is. Vayne can roll out of it. Talon can jump out of it. Lee Sin can ward and jump.
Going back to Flash, I have another comment to make. One of the biggest complaints about nerfing Flash that I've seen in the forums is that people say that, like, okay, when your Flash is on cooldown, people play even more defensive. And so that's the reason why you shouldn't nerf Flash, is because if people don't have their Flash as often, that means they're not going to be playing as aggressive as often. I find that a little backwards, because even if your Flash is down, you're not going to be hugging your tower the entire time.
Yeah, that's wrong.
You're maybe going to be playing a little bit more defensive, and that would just how the lanes would adapt to that. I think if Flash was not even there, say, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't think
what Riot has done.
I respectively have to disagree with you.
Make more defensive stuff.
Don't respectively.
I've played so many situations where people will waste their Flash and they will not come off their tower. And it's really frustrating when you're playing against a top lane character like Cho'Gath or somebody that has ridiculous sustain, and all they do is hug their tower and can actually last hit underneath it without many problems. So yeah, they're missing out a little bit of CS, a little bit of experience, but you can't push them out. And when a character like Cho'Gath or somebody gets farmed enough, it's not going to matter. They're just going to rock you. I have so many issues with that.
Yeah, I had a problem with an Udyr last
so
night.
frustrating.
I did that. But what Riot has done
actually,
is they have made their player base get a bad habit with Flash, to where the main style is being that that defensive because you know they're gonna flash, so you'd be aggressive and all that. And it's a problem that yes, they needed to look at because League of Legends is growing very quickly. So right now, the way we're talking about this, I bet you it's gonna be completely different after they do the change because hopefully the habits will be broken. And anything else about Flash? I know we could go on for days about it.
Now that they have a public or player test realm or whatever, I'd be curious. That'd probably be the safest area to test this. But like, what if they just turned off Flash for a week and see how play adjusted?
That would be amazing.
I'd really love to see the results of that experiment.
I would love to see what spells people
Ghost
get.
would be popular again.
Ghost would be popular, and let's go right to Cleanse. Cleanse will now remove, I think it was Exhaust and Ignite.
Summoner spells.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I was talking. Was it you, Damaga, that I was talking to you about that? That's gonna be a great change for like Tryndamere and Master Yi, because those two characters in particular are shut down a lot more by Exhaust, and being able to get out of that could potentially with Cleanse, those characters running Cleanse, maybe you'll start seeing them more often at higher ELOs. I don't know.
I love because it takes skill to actually use, so it's like thank you.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see it very often.
Yeah, that's why you don't see it very often. You'll see a Tryndamere or a Singed use it, and that's about the only time you'll see a Cleanse used. So I love to see some carries grab it. So, sweet. And CV has an increased cooldown. What is our view on this? In a way, I agree with it, because the jungler outlays... How is jungling in high ELO? How are harassment in the enemy jungle because of CV?
My understanding is that this change was more focused towards the high ELO games where people actually know how to play support, and somebody that's using support well can keep tabs on the enemy jungler really easily. Just by knowing jungle path and jungle timings and all that kind of thing, and then with the help of CV, they can just prevent so many ganks and just prevent so much, from happening for the enemy team. And so by making it longer cooldown and not last as long, the jungler can be more aggressive, I think, and ultimately that will make the game more aggressive, which I think would be pretty cool.
So what you're saying is it's promoting aggressive playstyle, which is what they said when they're talking about summoner spells. They're promoting is more aggression.
Yeah, I think they feel the game is too passive. And part of me likes the passivity, but at the same time, I totally understand why they feel the game is too passive, and I can kind of agree with them at this. Definitely.
It's very passive.
I mean, we've had a bunch of games recently.
I think Dominion
we've had a number of games recently. Okay, we're all talking. So who goes first?
Okay, Jono, you go first. Go.
Oh, I was gonna say we have a lot of experience as of late about passive game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. We've had a number of games where it's like, okay, I've been in lane and no towers have been pushed, and I'm like level 16, in a solo
20
lane.
minutes into the game,
we
one
had
tower.
that one game where we literally farmed the entire game, and then there was like 2 team fights, and then the game was over.
Yeah,
well, I think
that's really passive gameplay.
That was, although the passivity... But I think we had 3 carries that game, and they had 1. So that was really their fault for not breaking us out of that laning phase. If they're running a high bruiser fighter team, they need to end that laning phase ASAP. So that was just bad play on their part, personally. I can't even, That was all their fault on their part for that game. So I'm not sure we can use that as an
I can't remember the exact comp. But
well, if you were to check up Innergeekproductions on YouTube, I'm sure you could find out.
I just saw an email about that. What was the title?
Wow.
5v5 boring game, right?
It was 5v5 Farm Fest because we were literally in the laning phase the entire game.
That's right.
Okay, let's go to Fortify. What's our view on this? Why are they taking it out? What's going on?
I'm okay with it. No one used it. Whatever.
Yeah, it was hardly used.
Yeah, me too.
The bots are going to be in
weird,
trouble.
Like panic button.
The bots.
Summoner
Think of
spell.
the bots.
Yeah, the bots.
No more fortification, fortify, whatever it is for you.
What was that?
It's
Shenbot
totally
is
a
gonna
panic
cry.
button. It's totally a panic button, and I can kind of see, like, it takes no skill to use. You can do it while you're dead. You know,
That's so
it just
lame.
completely stops a push. It's kind of just,
Well,
it's kind of stupid.
what? Well, actually, I played with a Skarner who was so good with it. He would like sit there and wait, and then he would ult people under the tower and hit it, and then I'd play like a CC'er, and we just CC them under the tower, and it would blow him up.
That's like
Because it was so fast.
that's
It was
like
crazy.
2 champions that can use one summer spell: Blitzcrank and Skarner.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like there's only 2 champions
Actually,
that can use Revive, Karthus and Pantheon. So it's like, why is that still in the game?
Oh, don't. Let's not go there.
In regards to similar spells, I really like Garrison from Dominion, and I kind of wonder what that would be like on Summoner's Rift, being able to neutralize an enemy tower and being able to dive.
Well, healing a tower is kind of broken, dude.
Well, it wouldn't heal it.
No,
It
not
wouldn't
healing a
heal it.
tower, just like reducing its damage on an enemy tower,
Probably,
so you can
yeah.
dive more easily.
That would be interesting, but like I could see junglers like picking that up all the time, and that would just
Yeah.
make your
Oh, yeah,
gank
you're right.
so much stronger.
Yeah,
Now
I
with
don't
the
know,
nerf
though.
to like flash, it's
I-
just like you
that
can't
would
even
be-
retreat
They'd
to your
have to
tower, and your
sacrifice
flash
Smite,
sucks
though.
now. You're just
So-
gonna die every time.
Dude, sacrifice Flash or something, dude. But since Flash isn't gonna be as good, whatevs.
Yep. That'd be.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I'd like to see it. I think it'd be interesting.
Can you guys
And
imagine
it would really
your
promote
gank?
aggressive
They
gameplay.
promote aggressive gameplay and people not being terrible in the lanes.
Stringo,
It'd be
was
like-
it you who said Dota in Dota towers?
They did no
didn't do
damage. They were
anything?
just
It'd be
there
like
to
that.
stop your minions.
That sounds scary.
It would not. No,
It'd
it
be like
wouldn't
that.
be like that because how long does Garrison have on cooldown? And
Yeah.
I don't.
It'd be restricted by its
If
cooldown.
they were to come up and ask me, should we put this in Garrison into Summoner's Rift, I'd say no, don't do it. But in theory, it sounds like it could have some fun uses. So all in all,
gank.
I think it'd
Impossible
kind of
to run away
promote
from.
coordination a little bit
mm-hmm.
as well. Like, actually, no, it probably
No, it
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
Because
No, it wouldn't.
actually, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't at all. My bad.
Yeah.
I didn't think through that.
It's all good. So all in all, Riot, what are you doing with healing? And other than that, good job. We're just gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna go into
Yeah.
now into champion rundown.
We were talking about support gangplank.
Support Gangplank.
Oh, how would you play a support game?
you guys
It's legitimate. It's
What?
legitimate. Pros do it. I'm not even kidding.
Okay,
High
tell me
ELO
how
do
you
it.
do it. Tell me how you do it.
You build fairly normal support, you know, Philosopher's Stone, Heart of Gold, except you'd pick up an Avarice Blade, obviously, instead of like a Kage's Lucky Pick. My guess is you'd probably level up Parlay first and like harass a lot in lane, and then level up Raise Morale second. You have a built-in range slow because of Parlay and your passive, and then you have your ultimate for like global support. And then, you know, team fights, you have your Raise Morale. Early game, you have like harassment with Parlay.
And if you build any items, you build like Shirelia's Reverie and Boots of Ionia or something for cooldown reduction, so you can use
Yeah.
your ultimate
Wow.
as much as possible.
And if you start getting like lots of farm, you know, assists and stuff, you can like maybe build like a Sheen to like make Parlay hit a bit harder or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Too bad I
mean,
hate
that's
his
just,
the
that's
other
more my
two-
speculation. I don't know the specifics. What's that?
So the other two supports that I was looking at would be Maokai and Leona.
I picked up
Maokai,
Leona.
actually, were we talking about that last night, Andrew?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Maokai seems weird as a support, just because like he has to be in the middle of things.
I picked up
Like, you know,
Leona
So does Alistar,
to
though.
play as a support, and I've
But-
been playing her as support whenever I've been asked.
Yeah, Leona I
But
can
dude,
definitely
She's
get.
awesome as
I
support.
might start
but
playing
so nice.
Gangplank as support.
But Alistar is a similar way to Maokai. He has to be in the middle of things as well. I mean,
Yeah, but
granted, he has
Alistar
a
has his
heal.
ultimate. Leona has her like her
Shield.
big armor and magic resist buff. Maokai just has his ultimate, but it's only like 20%,
Gragas has that as a
and
normal
you're not
thing.
necessarily going to be, you know, in it
Like
all the
Gragas
time.
support.
Or support.
Don't tempt me. I'll do it. I'll play Gragas support.
Seriously.
I'll buy him right now. I'll do it.
Poking
Wait,
all day.
So we'll have Cho'Gath jungle, Gragas support. Who we're gonna have top lane? Like, I don't know, Karthus? No, Karthus.
Cock!
Gragas support.
Cock.
Body slam slows. Barrel roll reduces attack speed.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Explosive cast is a displacement.
Wow.
Sweet, Gragas.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Do it.
no.
Do it.
Dude, it'd be cool if I
He's
tried
half
that out.
off. Pull him up. Do it.
No, just pick him with IP. He's like a lot less expensive.
I know he's not expensive at all. Too bad Irai Trex doesn't play with us
I don't know.
anymore. He could be our
Honestly, I
support.
think Fiddlesticks would almost make a better support.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see
Dude,
that.
I've seen that.
Does he have game
Yeah, you
plan?
just go
I don't know.
all you go all cooldown reduction and you're good.
Well, no, the ones I've seen, the support fiddles I've seen build like gold per 5, and then they rush the Riley's Crystal Scepter,
Mhm.
so they just like slow you into the ground with like
Yep.
all of their massive CC, so you can't get away from them, and they're a bit tankier as well.
Is it Will of the Ancients that's the AoE cooldown reduction one?
Holy shit. Fiddlesticks is broken.
Why?
Dude, his ultimate at rank 16, the base damage is 325 per second and it lasts for 5 seconds. You multiply that by 5 and you get 1625 damage.
Yeah, I did that calculation like a week
That's
ago.
Oh my god, that is ridiculous.
It's
So
kinda
yeah,
like
you
a
just
Nunu
silence and
ulti.
fear people and
It's
then
kinda
like
support Nunu.
it's kind of like support Nunu or something, or Nunu ulti. Yeah, its base damage just is retarded.
It's bonker.
It's awesome.
Support jungle fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't even know why you'd want to do that.
Like I was kind of thinking like support Nunu, but like he doesn't work out as well, I think. I mean, his Blood Boil is great and his Ice Blast is pretty good, but then Consume is absolutely useless, and his ultimate, you're not getting any farms, so you're not going to be tanky, so you're just going to die when you ultimate. At least Fiddlesticks can teleport in and surprise everybody.
Yeah, but he still just dies.
Surprise!
Yeah, but like at least like his
Surprise, fiddlesticks! I'm dead.
Yep. Gesundheit.
I've seen that. I've seen the support fiddlesticks. It totally works, dude.
I will
With Riley's
believe
Crystal
it.
Scepter, he just slows people.
That's what I do in Dominion. Is
The
I
AoE slow is silly.
I don't even like worry about drain. I just go all silence and fear and cooldown reduction. And I just run to battle and just CC everybody. And I get that.
Pretty much.
And I
many
get that
bounces
heal me betterer chest plate. Don't know what it's called. So I just drain somebody
Spirit
and
Visage.
just so hopefully I don't die.
Oh, I
And
get
with no damage. By the way, just keep talking about champions because this is champion rundown. I'll just do the.
Wait, you're recording right
Yeah,
now?
I've been recording since we started talking about Gangplank. Don't worry, I'll edit the sneeze out and all that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
I even muted myself.
oh, well that's all good. It's all good.
I picked up on the other mic.
That was all fine. Orianna, if you play her completely differently, she's still playable now. I'm so freaking excited about that. She's nowhere near as good as she used to
Are you building
be.
her differently, or
I am building her completely differently. Instead of going, I used to go Doran's Ring into a, Magi Pen. No, not a Magi Pennant. Into the gold per 5, ability power, cage,
Below.
whatever it's called.
Lucky pick.
lucky pick?
Lucky pick, yeah.
Lucky pick.
Into a Magi Stole Stealer because I'm just that confident into a Rabadons. But now I actually go Rod of Ages and Berserker Greaves, not Berserker Greaves, Berserker Greaves and yeah,
Yes.
Merc Treads.
Yeah, you play her
Bloodthirster.
AD now.
I play her very go ahead and try to focus me because she has to get so close to fights now because her range is so low. And all the matches I play with her so far, I've won, even though I'm
800
really,
is so low.
really. It is compared to what she used to have. Man, she used to be like have Xerath's range. It was amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't even get close to me. So what you have to do, young Oriana players, is you have to literally walk into the middle of the minion group, hit S, so you just stand there, and then you just keep throwing your ball around. And it's really funny, because it's like, what are you doing? I take more damage from minions than I do from the enemy champion for doing that.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Let's see, who else have we been playing this week? Some Jungle Cho'Gath. Do you want to tell?
Janna!
We'll talk about Janna in a second.
So much fun.
So let's talk about some Jungle Cho'Gath. What's your path?
Just a superior path, starting with wolves through golems, recall, and then blue buff, and throughout the rest of everything again.
So you don't do anything. You do steal the raids, though. You do steal raids.
Yeah, sometimes I steal enemy raids at the start.
What do you start with?
Cho'Gath is just such a boss.
Do you start with his auto attack with spikes?
Yeah, Vorpal spikes, definitely.
Vorpal spikes, and then 2 ranks in rupture. But Cho'Gath is just has such great sustain. Even starting with like enemy wraiths, you can go ahead and get like cloth armor, 2 health pots, and a ward, and that's all you need.
His sustain is pretty crazy in the jungle.
His ganks are really nice, even in lower levels.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a good rupture off,
other thing
and then you can get in there and just silence them, and they can't flash or anything, so it's just free damage.
Yeah. The other thing I found that's kind of funny, that's just me really, is that laning Cho'Gath versus jungle Cho'Gath, I have an easier time remembering to consume minions just to get stacks when I'm jungling. For some reason I always forget to do that when I'm laning. I'm like wanting to save it in case I fight them or something. I don't know.
You basically one-shot anything other than red and blue with your feast? Well, and Dragon and Baron, of course.
At the start.
At the start,
but later on,
do you know?
The other day I was messing that up.
Do you know the starting health of double golems?
It's like 5 something, I think.
Really? I thought it was higher, like 800 something.
I don't know. I can look it up.
But you can pretty much one-shot everything like right
at 6. The double
at
golems have really high health, so they as the game progresses, you can't one-shot them.
When I was playing Cho'Gath the other day, I couldn't even like one-shot like the wolf.
Yeah, the big wolf, I think, that gets over 1,000 health as well. Yeah, it's like a massive freaking smite. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I can't.
And its cooldown is about similar to smite as well, actually. So it's great, like buff control, dragon control, all that kind of Baron control.
He's a good jungler. I like it. Me gusta.
He's a really good character.
Yeah, they did a good job with him. And his new skin, that's pretty amazing looking.
Have you seen it in game yet?
I'm disappointed by that.
Really? I haven't seen it in game. It could look terrible.
This is why. I heard the night before it came out, it said Jurassic Cho'Gath. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get a giant T-Rex Cho'Gath that grows huge and goes from being like a raptor into like a full-blown T-Rex. And then they released the skeletal Cho'Gath. Like, the skeletal Cho'Gath is awesome. It's really cool. But if they had named it something differently, I would have had a different picture in my head. Like, if they said, like, skeletal Cho'Gath or museum Cho'Gath.
Dry bones.
Exactly. Then I wouldn't have been
like,
so sad about it.
Fossil
but I was, like, so sad.
Yeah, I didn't. They set you up for a fall. Oh, I love it. Oh, right.
They totally did.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was like,
I haven't seen it in game. But I really like how huge and fatty Cho'Gath gets, and this because he's all bones. I don't see him getting fatty, and that makes me a little bit sad.
He also had the
I would still like
raptor
to see
claw.
how big he is, like
I
full stack.
know. Yeah, that's one thing I haven't seen yet, so I'm curious.
When I heard about Jurassic Cho'Gath, I'm like, I don't play the champion. I own the champion. I'm gonna buy that skin if it's a giant T-Rex. I was just gonna do it. Riot, I was going to give you my money for a skin I would never use, just to say that I had it.
Although
you missed out on $10 from a random person you don't even know.
Well, I will say this: we did mention that Cho'Gath needed a skin in last week's episode, and then lo and behold, look what came out. So they are listening. They are. Freak is listening to this, twiddling his thumbs, saying, "How can I steal these guys' ideas?" Skeleton Jack Fiddlesticks. And Misfortune got a new skin.
What else have we been
So
playing? Yeah.
Okay, Jonna,
I was so happy.
Jonna.
Okay,
Jonna.
Jonna can wait.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Misfortune skin. I own it. Misfortune currently is my favorite carry to play. I felt a little betrayed. Because
Okay.
when I got her, hold on, so 1 second. When I got her, I was like, she has Tommy guns. It's gonna be just like Twitch. It's gonna have a machine gun sound effect. There's gonna be little bullets that go pew pew. Do you know what I got? I got Tommy guns that shoot cannonballs 3 times the size of the barrel they're launched from. And when I shoot them, it sounds like a musket. That is not what I wanted. I wanted a Tommy gun, man.
It's
Tommy
not
gun.
too late for them to fix. I'm looking at it right now. It actually looks quite lovely. I like her hat.
Oh, it's a
The skin
beautiful
looks
skin,
great,
dude.
yeah.
I love the fedora. It's just that one iconic thing I was hoping to have. That just something that defined this skin as being so much more than all the rest of hers. But I like it. Like, I feel like in comparison to the rest of her skins, it's a lot less skin oriented. Like, you don't see as much. It's a much more, I would almost say, private kind of misfortune, where she's just not like letting everything of her body hang out. You don't know what I mean? Go look at Cowgirl. Go look at Cowgirl, dude. She might as well be wearing almost nothing. So I thought it was a very nice, classy change to the character itself. And I still love the skin. If they could patch Tommy gun sounds and like a different animation for her gun so she wasn't shooting cannonballs, I would really appreciate it.
Right,
like,
let
just
it be
maybe
done.
Like
when she
switching
did-
the sound files, like copying the sound files to like the Misfortune file from Twitch, you know? That'd be kind of
Something
cool.
that would be nice. Maybe make it rain bullets instead of cannonballs. I mean, I'm not asking for the world here.
I think the Earth Rider Corky skin has a Gatling gun sound as well.
Yeah.
Really, Earth Rider gets a Gatling gun skin and
Yeah.
gets
Well,
sound
dude,
effects,
he's
and I
Earth
don't.
Rider. He's Earth Rider.
Also shoots green fish.
Wow.
I'm a sexy gangster with a fedora.
Any other champions we want to talk about? No. Okay, we're good. Let's move
see.
on. We're gonna go into champion construction. Any ideas on new champions, items, maps? Last week we
Champion
were talking
construction.
about.
I did have an
okay,
idea.
Go.
I was thinking about like ways to make characters scale interestingly, and how Rise, is his damage scales with his mana, and I'd kind of like to see a physical version of Rise. Somebody that scales with mana can build tanky like Rise can, but does physical damage. Essentially I think would be kind of like an AD caster. Technically, they're not building AD, but they're doing physical damage and fulfilling that kind of role on their team.
That'd be pretty cool. I kind of want to see a Fury champion where like it's similar to Rise, so that his stats scale with the amount of Fury he has. So it becomes a game of balancing your Fury output along with your spells that would absorb your Fury.
That would be interesting too. I was kind of thinking a similar thing as well, but I wasn't sure how. Like, yeah, essentially your power level scaling, or maybe your spell ability power. It's your spells scaling with your resource
What if
system.
you had a champion that either
Yeah.
had Fury or some kind of new other resource system, but like when he's low on his resource, he's more tanky, and then when he's high on the resource, his tanky goes away and he gets like more damage buffs.
Yeah. Actually, if I remember right, when I
I thought
first heard about
Skarner was supposed to be
Skarner,
like
I
that.
thought Skarner was supposed to be kind
Yeah.
of like that.
Okay, what do you guys think of this one? What do you think of a champion whose form of energy, whatever you want to call it, is generated based around either damage dealt to enemy characters or minions, or the direct deaths of enemy characters or minions?
It's
So like
I
it's a
don't know, that
cooldown
sounds
based champion,
weird.
but it gets bonus effects from a number of these like corrosion stacks that he or she would get from the death of enemy champions or or minions,
So have a built-in.
but they would cap.
Oh my gosh, my brain just died. Magi's Soul Stealer, basically.
Magi's Soul Stealer.
Yeah, so have like that.
But yeah, but you wouldn't keep the stacks. You would expend the stacks though with your
Ooh.
spells to enhance them.
Huh.
And obviously, you would get
me,
more
that sounds
stacks
I'm
from
not sure they could do it.
opposing characters than minions.
Well, right.
I don't know.
Chinook
That
accepted.
seems really bizarre. To me, it sounds like they would probably end up being weak at the beginning of a team fight and then ridiculously strong at the end of a team fight.
Well, you'd have
That
to go
seems kind
farm
of a
on
strange
minions.
place.
Maybe. But like, I mean, what happens if it was generated from any death, including friendly characters as well?
Yeah, and then you want to be like, a friendly. It's still kind of same thing though.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting
I
because
don't
then
know,
it's
that
like,
seems
okay, we
bizarre.
have
I don't
to
know how I
focus
would,
this guy,
like-
or he's gonna get out of control at the end.
It's
of
just a
the game.
thought.
I don't
It's
know.
not
I
something
don't
you have
even.
to
Yeah,
actually
it's
do.
bizarre. I don't even know how to wrap my brain around
And-
that
Well,
correctly.
what would he be? Or
You can. Well, I don't know. Probably be more like a bruiser or maybe a mage. That would be really cool. But instead of having like stacks, you also could be like a meter. You could have like an energy bar that increases, so that the spells and stuff would have low costs, but it would have to build up over time. I don't know. It was just a thought. I think it'd be interesting to see that, or something else like that.
Actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of like Akali's ultimate, where she gets extra stacks upon champion deaths and assists, or whatever, kills and assists. And based off of Akali, I'd be a little bit of afraid how that character would snowball through a fight.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, we don't need another Akali or Katarina.
Yeah, we don't need another. Yeah, or Katarina. Katarina can do that too.
Dude, don't even mention Katarina. She's not even worth mentioning anymore.
Well,
Oh, look.
not
Oh,
for,
wait. You
uh,
ult? Oh, I'm gonna
for the
target
newer
stun your face.
no, dude. For the newer players, Katarina, I'm sure is still pretty scary, and I feel
Yeah,
for
okay, I
them
can see that.
because we went through that too.
Yeah, but screw him.
Oh God, I have a story.
So nice.
When we get to that storytelling
Oh,
part, I have a
Stringo.
horrible story
Alright, when
about
we get
Katarina.
to stories, we'll go over it. Sorry, I don't think the game should be based around noobs.
No,
Yeah,
I agree, but still, there should be some consideration,
Sorry, they
dude.
can get over it. They want to deal with a Katarina at level 1, they can full on deal with it.
Wow.
Jeez.
I think it made us better players dealing with it. I'm sorry to say it, I think it did.
Yep.
And also
Yeah,
bred a
if
fanatical
people
hatred.
get better. I'm going to start going on a rant here in a second. People get better at a game. You don't nerf a game down to them. You nerf it up to them. Or I guess you don't nerf it.
Strength in adversity. Strength in adversity, right?
People get better. I mean, I could continue this rant on, but
Please don't.
basically the gist of it is okay. I won't. New items. New items. Do we have any new items?
Oh.
I want to
Magi's
see a
support or
more spell vamp.
Magi's kill stealer.
What?
It would go on
Oh,
support.
Go
Kills
away.
stealer.
Go no
It would
more
be like a
snowball
support
items.
version.
Snowball items are a poison for a game.
Don't you love an Akali with a fully stacked Magi's and Sword of the Occult? Because I do. It's
No,
horrible.
Go away. You're no longer my friend.
please don't block me on Facebook.
No.
I'd be sad.
As far as new items, though, like in all seriousness, I really want something that gives similar stats to a Wriggles on Dominion. I really want something that
Yes,
has
I
lifesteal,
agree.
armor, and either
Yeah,
attack
me
speed
too.
or probably preferably attack damage.
Attack damage. And where's
Screw the proc and screw the ward. We don't need those for Dominion, but I want those
I
three
agree.
stats.
it'd be called Wriggler's Candle.
Lamppost,
candle
Wriggler's
man.
lamppost.
You know,
Well, that
take
works.
candle.
Well, no, Jax already has one, so that
Jax
means
already has it.
Yeah.
it'd be great for
He
Jax.
automatically starts off with it.
Yeah, there you go. Jax's new passive.
Oh God, no.
In Dominion.
What about
But
Wriggler's
only when
I
he's
have
flashlight?
like
wearing
seen
his
out of
classic
Summoner's
skin.
Rift, so I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Anything else for items, guys? Come on.
I
Something
don't
that
know. I
gives
think I
attack
mentioned
speed and
everything else
lifesteal
last week.
that's worthwhile, other than Stark's Fervor.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there too. I kind of don't like Stark's Fervor on anyone other than a support.
Like, okay, so this is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see attack speed and then no aura. Just get rid of the aura. Attack speed, lifesteal, and then either cooldown or a little bit of AD. Little bit. Dude, I mean, you could give it crit. You could give it a little bit of crit, and Tryndamere would be all over that.
It's called Stark.
Goodbye, Phantom Dancer. No. It'd be Stark's Knife of Eternal Bleeding. Yes.
Actually,
From all
no.
the
This is
lifesteal.
what I'd like: lifesteal, attack speed, and then like a damage proc.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because then you could like combo it with like other stuff like
Stark's
Wit's
Blood
End
Razor.
and Malady maybe.
Do it.
Blood Razor, sure. That kind of
No,
stuff.
it'd be
like
Stark's
a proc
Blood
build.
Razor.
Wow.
It'd
That's
be
what it'd
great
be
for a
called.
proc build, and it would give you lifesteal, which those builds kind of want a little bit as well. I
But
think.
it'd be called Stark's Blood Razor.
We have enough Blood
Or
Razors. Go away.
Okay, fine. Stark's Deadly Shaver.
Oh, for goodness.
Seriously, this is derailed. Well done,
Downhill
Domaga.
so bad. You have ruined champion construction.
Why? I didn't do anything.
Any maps? We mentioned this last week. An all jungle map. I think it needs to be done.
That would be really interesting.
Like no lanes, so you have no vision, so you guys have to like run around with each other
How about free for all mode
and
in the
like
jungle?
just jungle.
It's an underground
Ooh.
jungle.
The only I don't want a free for all mode though, because this is a team oriented.
What about
game. I
three
want it to stay
team?
like that.
3-team match, where it's like three teams of three.
3v3v3. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
I could
But
see
that-
that.
Be kind
I
of
could
interesting.
see it, but
But no towers. Only
Yeah, I mean,
strictly
because-
deathmatch or objective.
because objective, I'd say objective.
No,
or maybe
No,
I don't know.
I don't want to see any free for all. I want objective. I mean, MOBAs need objectives. I think.
Me too. Yeah. Because free for all can get pretty stupid. Because all you have to do is go,
Yeah.
Akali.
stupid killing champions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So basically, I'm not sure if we could. Maybe they could pull a 4v4 or a 3v3 off, but I would prefer just stick with a one-on-one against each other. Not one-on-one champions, but maybe a group of three. Make the new 3v3 from Twisted Treeline a jungle map. And then when you have to decide whether you guys want to go off like by yourselves to go jungle, and you'll get more experience that way, but you're also more susceptible to ganks. But if you all go together, you're gonna lose out on experience. But you're all
Now,
together, so you
So
don't have to
we
instead
could
of
make it
dual laning,
really
you have
evil.
That'd
dual
be so
jungling.
weird.
That'd be weird. I'm trying to
Okay,
think
we
about
make
that.
it
It's
really
like
evil.
part of jungling is ganking, and then there's no lanes to gank because you're all in the jungle.
Okay, so what do you guys think
yes.
of neutral monsters? Meaning every monster, every single creep on the map is neutral to both sides.
You just sit at your
Yeah,
Nexus
that's
and
the
farm
point of the jungle map.
until you reach level
No.
18.
No, they only spawn in the middle. They only spawn in the middle of
Because
the
that
map.
was...
Yeah,
I see.
So you all have to run in there, and you all have to be like, it could be like level 1 team fighting, but crazier. Because you need to
Oh, I don't
farm,
know.
but
Wow.
everyone's
That
right
seems
there.
too weird.
That would be
that'd be
bananas.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I will say that. Oh man. Okay. Anything else for champion construction?
Yeah, in that free for all game type, the neutral monster can be Godzilla.
Okay. On to stories. Demago, you had a story.
Stark's Enthusiasm. That's what it's going to be called.
Yes, Dark's enthusiasm.
No, we're in stories now, guys. We're telling stories.
Store time, store time.
Okay, so this one
Everybody
game we
gather
played,
around.
with put your listening ears on, children. We played with this Cho'Gath who got extremely fed. So he had max stacks, he was really big, and there was a Katarina, right? This Katarina had been farming all game. She had like 275 creep score. She had all these berserking crazy items. Like I think she had 2 Hextech Gunblades. And we go to engage her, and she did the most evil thing you could do as cat. She would wait for Cho'Gath to walk into the middle of our team. She would Shumpo underneath the Cho'Gath so nobody could tag her with CC, and then she would ult. and she would like
Yeah.
eliminate 3 of our people. She
I
would jump
remember
again
that.
and then ult again and killed everybody.
I hated that.
And we
yeah,
we like
you could not
messaged, we
click
were like,
on her. It was
we were like,
impossible.
did you do that on purpose? And she was like, maybe. It was wrong. Fed Katarina with fat
In
Cho'Gath
regard
is
to
wrong.
giant Cho'Gath, I've been playing him lately, right? And sometimes when I take tower aggro and I try to walk away from it and de-aggro the tower, I'm so fatty that like I think I'm gonna de-aggro at the certain distance that feels like where I normally de-aggro at, but I don't because I'm so fatty. So I have to like walk a little bit farther away than I normally do. It's kind of fun.
That, and it's warm and safe under Daddy Cho'Gath when he's huge.
Yeah.
He's like an umbrella. He keeps you safe from CC and AoE.
He's like a penguin.
All right, Keen, you have a story, a Shaco story for us. You have to tell that
Sure.
one.
I'm so excited!
So being the awesome Shackle player that I am, I'm down at bot lane, farming by myself and pushing it and not paying attention to my teammates that are team 4v5 team fighting. And everybody dies, except I think you guys take out one person.
The
Like
Morgana, I
or
think.
something.
Yeah, they had a Galio, a
'Cause we're awesome.
Ashe, and a Nocturne,
And an
and
Ezreal.
an Ezreal left.
And except you guys got them like most of them all really low on health, and then all 4 of them were like, "Hey, we're gonna go push a tower." And then I'm like, "Hey, I'm Shaco. I'm gonna go ulti on top of you guys and get a quadra kill." And yeah, pull off a quadra kill. It's awesome.
He
one-shotted
one-shot Ezreal. Yeah, what was that? What was next? Nocturne, maybe?
Like
Galio.
I think Galio went down before
Galio,
Nocturne,
it was
and then
crazy.
Nocturne, and then Ashe.
Ashe
and
almost got away, I think,
yeah,
wasn't it? But
almost. And pulling out the
Deceive.
ace.
pulling out the ace, yeah, single-handedly.
It was kind of awesome.
Yeah,
It was
we freaked out
bonkers.
pretty good right there.
Wow. Wow.
It kind of made my life better.
Oh dear. I did like when we were playing Dominion, you were playing Shaco. You dropped 2 boxes into the speed, and you were just... I'm trying to remember who you were kiting.
No,
I
yeah,
think you were
okay,
kiting
so
Shyvana.
there in Dominion there was this engagement, like two enemies engaged, like one of you guys or somebody, and then I kind of like ended up
It was me, and I
coming
died
in.
immediately.
I like came in kind of late because I was roaming around, and then I ended up killing the first one who was kind of low on health that you were fighting or whatever, and then I took some damage as well, or maybe I was already low, but like my 2 shiv and stuff was on cooldown.
You were 1 hit away.
And then Shyvana was like, "Oh, Shaco, I'm gonna go kill him!" And then I start running around, like, cause we're by like the speed shrine, and also there's like that piece of terrain, and then there's like a little health pot thing on the other side. Previously, I already had a box on the health pot, but somehow like nobody popped it. And then I kited Shyvana around it into the speed shrine, back towards my box, placed a second one down, just started kind of like dancing in circles. And then she ran into it and got killed by my 2 boxes.
AP
was
Shaco,
insane.
You're
fear
like,
him
hey,
on
look, she's
Dominion.
gonna die to my
Yeah.
boxes.
I'm just dancing around, I'm like, wait for it, wait for it.
Oh,
Ah!
I can't
You're
believe
dead.
the Shyvana. She got so greedy. That was such obvious bait.
I know.
It was like,
hilarious,
you don't
though.
chase a Shaco for that long. What are you doing? Especially when he's like, his stuff arms so fast now. It's like, what are you doing, son? I spoke last night at a charity dinner about esports and digital media, so that was a lot of fun. I think that's my
Cool.
only real story that was actually in real life. I didn't talk much about League of Legends, but I talked about digital media and esports, so that was quite fun.
I recently played Olaf on Dominion after his buffs, and I leveled his Reckless Sling,
no.
which does true damage. And I 1v3'd an Ashe, a Nocturne, and a Sona, and I killed all of them. My favorite
Yeah.
part was
Yeah.
at level
I'm
9
glad they buffed him.
when I Reckless Swinged. I Reckless Swinged at level 9, and I took out almost 50% of Ashe's health.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep, that
She
sounds like Olaf.
melted.
Alright, I got another story, kind of. So
Okay, last one.
we're playing Dominion, and this was after the patch. I was playing Olaf as well. I think we totally lost the game. We just did terrible. But
We probably
I think
did.
Demago was playing Lee Sin, I think. And regarding like
Dang
a Grassy video, we had like a passing of a champion moment. Like I was running, or I don't know what the exact engagement was, but the enemy was like kind of low on health, and Domaga used his ulti and kicked the enemy champion into me playing Olaf, and then I immediately like reckless swinged and killed him.
The dude died in midair.
Perfect.
Spike!
Yeah,
He died in
in
midair.
like the mid knockback. It was hilarious.
Favorite kick ever.
Oh.
Actually, that's exactly his animation for reckless swing. Doesn't he kind of swing downward really quickly? It's literally like
Yeah.
spiking him into the ground. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
You should be a Super Smash Brothers character.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Spiked.
Oh man, we can talk about that in whatever I called the other show.
Entering
That was
the
it.
rift.
Super Smash Brothers League of Legends characters.
We've
You
already
now
talked about that.
Okay.
Past.
The rift.
Oh dang. Okay, well we'll talk about it again, but with me.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go into the mailbox. Okay, hold on, I gotta figure out how to say this guy's name. Okay, so we didn't get any questions into our email account, which is innergeekproductions@hotmail.com,
Because we
with the
suck.
subject line Juked. It's because people don't know good advice when they hear it.
I'm
So,
gentle and no
I
one
think
else.
last week we told a guy to stop playing fiddlesticks because, I don't know, and to pick up, I don't know,
Ooh
somebody
dear.
else. Parenthesis. I'm gonna say it's parenthesis. Is greeting fellow summoners. I am proposing a simple fix for those times when you are solo queuing ranked only to have one random DC or AFK and you lose the game. Take the majority share of the ELO your team would have lost collectively by losing the match with a whole team and deduct it from the AFK/DC player. Basically, have the lever take 80% ELO hit while the other 4 divide up 20% among themselves.
Oh.
So that's basically his email goes on, his thread post goes on and on. Basically to stop people from just DCing from a ranked game, or to at least punish them for going into a ranked game without being prepared. Make them take a huge loss in ELO. So
But what
what's your
happens if
guys'
we can't
view on
control
this?
it? There was a guy I played with in like he was like in British Canada or something, and he DC'd the entire match because he had a horrible windstorm that like totally knocked out his internet for 6 hours.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be doing ranked, in my opinion. If
During a windstorm.
Well,
Hey,
Yeah.
It wasn't
I
like
wanna
it
play
wasn't
ranked
like
during a
it wasn't
windstorm.
like he started in the windstorm,
No
started
mercy.
playing, and the windstorm hit. I'm just saying, you
I'm
can't
sorry.
you can't stop interactions. Like what is it called? It's called intervention of God or something. Natural disaster.
Divine
whatever you wanna
intervention.
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention. You can't stop divine intervention, dude. Your ELO shouldn't suffer because of that. Now, if you're a jerk and you rage quit after having typed horrible, disgusting, vulgar language at your team and raging, that's fine. You should take 90% hit. 90.
Yeah, but a
You can't
lot of
just take
people
all
just
of
go
it.
into... There are people that just go into ranked play and then they just, like, leave. And they don't have a good internet connection. They go in knowing full well that they have a bad internet. And you have to have blood leaving your body for me to leave a ranked game. I'm sorry.
Or if the client blows up.
Weird like that?
I'd kind of like to see a vote system.
Well, the client always blows up.
A vote system
Yeah,
where,
or-
like,
that's also a
okay,
good
like,
idea.
if they think it's a legitimate thing, you know, then they just don't vote on it. But if they think it's like, okay, this guy would obviously rage quit, you know, just get votes from each side. You get, you know, 2/3 majority or some, or, you know, 3/4 majority or something, you know, and if you get majority, then they take a
Yeah.
huge hit in their ELO, or, you know, and maybe nobody else takes a hit.
Well, keeping in mind the player base, odds are they would just say it was their fault anyways, just so that they would only get 20% YOLO loss and not the full amount.
That's the other problem. There's a lot of
That's true.
the League of Legends community is full of like a lot of really cool people that I've met, like the people we're talking with here on Juked, and then a lot of people that
Mhm.
are just immature.
It's the game style.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it-
much
it's
all
also
online
because
gaming.
It's online
dude.
gaming. Yeah.
It's online gaming, but also if you do bad, the other team gets benefited by it. It's not like in games like, I don't know, a Call of Duty game where if you die, it's not that huge of a deal.
Mhm.
But, but if you die to a carry multiple times, you're going to be the reason why the other team loses the game. I mean, like, your team loses the game. I'm known to rage, so especially back in my days of original Dota. So anything else about this? Would that fix the problem in ranked? 80% ELO hit.
That
for
hurts.
taking 80%. Yeah, it would hurt really bad, but it'd make people think twice before they jump into a ranked game.
Yeah. I think it would help prevent the people that are legitimately leaving, but I do feel kind of bad for the people who legitimately just like lose power and so they can't, play the game or something. So
yeah, because that is about what 4 games. If 4 games of losing a ranked game, we gotta think of it like that.
Yeah, so I'm a little undecided, I guess. Like, I feel like the people that live, it's a fine punishment for the people that leave the game, but for the people who, have other circumstances come up.
What
like,
happens
losing
if
power
they do
or
the same
something.
thing with
Thank
the what's it called? The punishment system they have that they use for players, judgment.
Tribunal?
Tribunal.
The tribunal. Why don't they do that? Why don't they add an secondary option to the tribunal, which is ELO loss?
I think the suspension and
How many
banning
people
is
still
fine.
use the tribunal, though?
I haven't used it in a while.
I use it.
Do you? Okay.
Tribunal's
I
awesome.
don't. As much as I love to judge people, but I don't do it. I can't be asked. Okay, so Riot, think about it. Thank you. Thank you, parenthesis, for your contribution for the show, even though you're never gonna listen to this. The next one is from Sibyl. Deal with it. I know. I don't know if this subject has come up yet, but I was wondering if there is any plan to have better AI for Summoner Rift Custom, because right now it seems to set it easy, and even so are dumber than in co-op easy mode. Okay, basically the guy wants harder AI in custom Rift games. What do you guys think?
As it stands
think
now, I
Antibot's
don't
scary.
understand. Antibot's scary. I can agree with you there. But as it stands now,
Scary.
I don't get
Antibot
why there's
gives me
not.
nightmares.
I mean, there's 2 different levels for co-op versus the AI. Why isn't that in custom games?
Dude,
don't
even
quite get that.
before there was
Yeah,
co-op
me
AI,
too.
they had like a little drop-down option to like change difficulty, but it only ever
Yeah.
has basic.
Yeah. So that seems like a pretty easy
Yeah,
fix.
so-
As far as like
Yeah,
actually
they need
better
to add
AI,
that.
like that's you have to have the AI programmers and they have to be good at it, and that's a big task.
We don't need another form of AI. We don't need a nightmare AI where they,
Unless
do
you're a
everything
sadist.
absolutely perfectly.
Some people are into that, dude.
Because-
Some people are into the challenge of going against really hard stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but go into ranked because then you have to deal with your own team along with the other team.
I think some people prefer to deal with just the
Yeah.
bots instead of their own teammates.
Yeah, some people get really fed
so-
up with the ranked, just the player attitude, and so they'd rather just play co-op versus the AI.
Okay. You know
or
what?
you can just go and get some friends and play with them.
I'm sick
I mean-
of the ranked as well, dude.
We're looking
like,
for friends.
there was one week where I played ranked every single day, 1 or 2 games, and 60 or 70% of those games, people would just rage quit. Like, this one guy, our
Yeah.
jungler, he was getting assists instead of kills, and he had like maybe 2 deaths, and he's like, forget this, and he immediately leaves.
Yeah, that's why I'm almost for the whole ELO thingy from our past email, but we're on this email. Basically, don't add harder modes, right? Add it into custom, but the way I see League of Legends is if you picked up a hero for the first time, you play it in a custom first, like if you're practicing a jungle or something, then you go to player versus AI, then you go into normal pick, then into draft pick, then into ranked. That is just my personal thinking.
Maybe a
And of
Dominion in
course you
there
can
to
do
get
some
a view of their
yeah,
late
Dominion
game.
to just get some one-on-one action going.
Team fight experience as well.
Mm-hmm. So that's my basic view. We don't need another nightmare mode in Summoner's Rift AI.
Actually, as far as like AI playing against the AI, I do kind of think a horde mode might be kind of interesting. But they just would have to work on actually how their AI behaves first. Their AI is kind of crappy right now.
Well, after you play so many games, they get really predictable. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. As soon as Rise gets here, he's gonna throw something at me, so I'll back up this far. Okay, I'm fine.
Shenbot
Go
will
back
tower
in
dive
to
for
get
no
him.
reason and kill himself.
Or Rise just starts auto attacking for no reason. You know, after he blows his combo,
Yeah.
or
I have
Annie or
hard
somebody, and they
CC,
just stick
you
around
just, like,
auto attacking instead of backing up.
Run up to the enemy laner bot, and then they just go, oh, he's close to me, I'm gonna go attack this guy, and then you kite them into tower range and then use your hard CC on them. They take like 5 tower shots and die.
Yeah. Yeah, the AI is pretty bad.
Or again, Nasus bot, who will run past his minion wave and die to tower for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think that it should be like that,
Okay.
because they need to be easier than a player.
Well, that's why you have different levels. I mean, I
don't
think,
know.
like,
That's my personal belief.
you know, there should be an easy level that is kind of like that, but it'd be nice if there was a hard level that is just like, you know, at least provides a little bit of a challenge. You know, that doesn't feel unfair, because like intermediate, sometimes if you play co-op versus the AI versus on intermediate, sometimes the bots just do silly things that seem totally like not where they should be considering their gear and everything.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that then. That's been everything for this week of Juked. Shoutouts or anything, you guys?
No.
Yo, if my homeboy
Shout out to
Zeno
all my
is listening
fans.
to this, if my homeboy Zeno can hear this, shout out, dog.
Yeah, what's up out there, Zenel? Oh gosh. So, yeah, email us in at Innergeekproductions, replays, questions, comments, and we'll see you next time.
Woohoo! Later, everyone.
Welcome back from Inside the Rift. We hope you enjoyed yourself and that you learned something. Remember to email us at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com with your questions with the tagline, Juked. If you are viewing this on our YouTube channel, please thumbs up this video, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more insanity. You can get the MP3 of this show from our website, igptv.com, and soon from iTunes. Remember to send us in your replays to be casted at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com. See you next week on Juked.